All right. Now for our last but not the least speaker, we have our very own community manager, Miss Yolynne Medina, who will share to us about the beginner's guide to learn Appscript. Miss Medina has 20 plus years of professional experience in the field of ICT, or Information and Communications Technology, which involves teaching, managing, and participation in industry projects. She currently serves as EduTech Director at Universidad de Zamboanga and the community lead of Google Developer Group's Zamboanga. She believes that, and I quote, one is never too old to learn and dream. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Miss Yolynne Medina. Take it away, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Sal, for that introduction. Okay. Uh, okay. So, so today, what I'll be this afternoon, what I'll be sharing to you is about my um, my latest this is hobby is using Appscript, no? Because I've been assigned to a new department. So ito po yung palagi ko ngayon ginagamit since what my new team needs is to really automate a lot of our processes. So this has been very useful for us, especially for me in doing tasks faster. Okay. So yan po. So next na tayo. Okay. So to start with, para lang may pampagana tayo. So we want to tell everyone kung bakit baka natin kailangan matuto ng Appscript, no? So based from the experience of the creator, si Mike Harm, okay? So sabi nga niya, I want a language that anyone can code in. Okay. Actually, he was a former instructor, and then yung tinuturuan niya is introduction to computers to non-IT non-IT students. So ibig sabihin, I think that these are all pharmacy students na tinuturuan niya. So what he would want them to really learn is yung kung paano mag-automate ng mga office tools, productivity tools. So he used a lot of strategies, and eventually, and after his class, and then he asked them to do a project. He was amazed with the outcome of the project. So maraming na-automate na mga processes. Even an 11-year-old kid was able to automate conversion of Celsius to Fahrenheit, yung mga ganon. So sabi niya, wow, this is parang this is like mob moment niya yun. So what he did after that is actually work on Appscript. Okay, so next. Okay. So what is Google Appscript? So Google Appscript is a JavaScript cloud scripting language, okay, that provides easy ways to automate tasks across Google products and third-party services and build web applications. So kung familiar na kayo sa JavaScript, so at least mas madali na lang para sa inyo na maintindihan ang Appscript. But if you're starting, no, sabi nga natin yung talk ko is about beginners, no, especially those are non-technical person or non-IT graduate who would like to learn programming, for example. Google Appscript is actually a good platform for you to dive in and test out programming and become a developer, a programmer yourselves, no? Okay, so based siya sa JavaScript. So yung JavaScript, di ba, pag usually the steps that I know that would be effective is that pag in technology enthusiast ka, what you usually tinker on is mag-HTML coding ka muna. So yan, di ba, nag-HTML coding, tapos nag-enjoy ka mag-HTML coding. After mong, hindi yung may UI agad, yung coding talaga, hard coding ng HTML. And eventually, you learn more about like HTML5, and then you want more. If you want more, then you'll try to learn JavaScript, the server-side programmer, which can also be used as a client-side programming tool, no, a scripting language. So because of JavaScript, and then I can na-encourage si Mike na i-integrate siya sa work niya sa Google because during that time he's already employed with Google and working on Google Sheets. So if kayo naman, if kayo ay gumagamit ng Google application, especially Google Sheets, and then you're very interested, or baka very we're very good in using um, functions, no, formulas and functions in Google Sheets, then maganda na yung baseline nyo ng knowledge nyo for you next, para mag-dive in na kayo next sa Google Appscript. Tapos mas madali na kayo makakakuha ng ideas. And then madali nyo rin matututunan yung mga scripting language. And you can easily understand the task that is happening, the task, and then what is the events that is happening when you do the Appscript. No? Yeah. So ang Appscript, it started in August 2009. So halos 12 years na siya. Okay. So G Suite scripting, it's actually the official Google Workspace na ngayon, dati G Suite naman. Google Workspace platform, scripting platform. No? Yan yung official nila na scripting platforms, yung Google Appscript. Okay, what started as a small experiment has grown into one of Google's most popular developer products. Okay. Sabi nga natin, ang creator, if you forgot, is si Mike Harm. Okay. A little bit, we go back to what I said a while ago. Nagtuturo nga siya ng introduction to computers to pharmacy majors. Okay. So the course covered everything from drag and drop to office productivity tools, building up to a final project using HyperCard, where the assignment was just to make something cool. Yun yung sinabi ko kanina. So those students produced so many interesting things: an interactive recipe book, a Led Zeppelin trivia game, an animated choose-your-own adventure story, and it made a lasting impression on him. Once, parang ang naisip niya is once you strip away pala all the technical hoops, people can build amazing things. So especially yung mga analysts, the teachers, there are a lot of things that and students as well, na gusto nyo i-automate, pero hindi nyo alam kung ano ba gagamitin nyo, no? So the Google Appscript is here to do those things for you and make things easier. Okay. So what he wants really is, yung goal is people, even non-technical people can build amazing things even if they're not programmers. Okay. So si Mike Harm worked on Google Sheets, and then eventually found a way ito ng Google Appscript. What he did was that it was a stealth side project until eventually when he was ready to share with everyone, he shared with the team, and then hanggang sa naging main product na siya ng Google. Yeah. So, ano yung challenges ng building ng isang tool for non-traditional programmers? What are the challenges when we are building tools for non-traditional programmers? Anong ibig sabihin na non-traditional programmers? Ibig sabihin nun is kung hindi ka graduate ng isang hindi ka graduate ng IT course, so what you usually do is meron kang ibang strategy or ways or youth in learning in technology, right? So yung iba yung approach. Okay, so but the idea, you have a lot of ideas that you want to use para na magawa mo, kasi kumbaga ang nangyayari kasi meron kang ideas, alam mo kasi yung work mo, the topics that you want to really dive in, pero hindi mo lang alam kung paano siya i-automate. But once you have the skill of, for example, Google Appscript, which is very good for beginners, ma-automate mo na yung mga reports mo, things that you do isa-isa, very routinary. This, you can do it in one click using Google Appscript. Yeah. So, examples of how to use Appscript is, if nakikita nyo, or pag ako ganito pag kunyari may ginagawa ako, and then I feel bakit parang boring na yung ginagawa ko? Ibig sabihin, kasi routinary na siya, or pabalik-balik lang, there is a way for you to automate it. So, ganun pala, nagiging ganun na rin yung mentality ko. For example, kailangan mag-email ng maraming beses, kailangan mag-send ng certificates ng marami, sa maraming tao. These are the things that are very routinary. So, you can automate this. So, palaging ganun na, pag tinitignan ko yung isang task, ilan siya, sa kanino ko isa-send, marami ba, and then if it's by bulk, that means I can automate it. So I find a way, I take time to find a way to automate those tasks. And eventually, pag nakita ko na automate ko na siya, mas madali na lang siyang trabahuhin. So what our goal really is to be not just hard workers, but smart workers, right? So para we have more time for ourselves, hindi tayo masyadong stress kasi na-automate na natin yung mga trabaho natin. Okay. So next, please. Next pa. Okay. So in March 2014, Google introduced add-ons for Docs and Sheets. So kung nanonotice na gumagamit na kayo ng Google Docs and Google Sheets, meron nakalagay na add-ons. Ngayon meron din si Google Forms, right? So ito mga add-ons na to are lets users add extra features to the Google editors, such as nagbe-mail merge, workflows, diagram builders. All add-ons are either 100% built with Appscript or simply use Appscript to display a UI in the Google editors while relying on an external backend to perform some tasks. Okay, for example, yung MailChimp, nag-mail merge tool siya, isang mail merging tool siya, has an add-on for Google Docs that communicates with MailChimp platform to send emails. So what I usually do also is Google Sheet, tapos merong Google Gmail, so automatic sending of emails, pwede mo ring automatic sending of grades. Okay, if you're a teacher, I think if you, and you're fond of add-ons na ginagamit, tignan nyo lang yung sa task, add-ons, you check what you always using na ino-automate mo. Ako, ang una-una kong ginamit nung bago pa lang yung add-ons is yung change from lowercase to uppercase and vice versa, because wala pang functionality dati ang Google na mag-change ng, gusto ko kasi, kunyari, magde-decide ako na yung names pala ng nasa sheet is gusto ko lahat naka-uppercase. Ang naka-input is puro lowercase or naka-title case siya. So in just one click using the lowercase to uppercase, pwede ko na siya ma-convert and vice versa. So yun yung una-una kong ginamit na very simple and then a lot of add-ons follow. So para ako what happened is that parang nag-window shopping ako ng add-ons. I also check the reviews if they are if they have good reviews, and then if they have potential, tinetest ko rin. So there are a lot more actually that are available. Yung iba is already established or created by companies na they're also selling it na. So may bayad na rin siya because ibig sabihin very efficient na siya in sending emails, doing reports. So yun po. Okay. So next tayo. Okay. So sabi ni Stewart Butterfield, there's a lot of automation that can happen that isn't a replacement of humans but of mind-numbing behavior. So yun yung actually mentality ko rin. I hope that's also yours. Sometimes when we do our work, we also what we do is we check the kind of task that we have at hand. Ano ba to? Routine, parang is it a routine? If it's a routine, that means you need to find a way to automate it. Para in the next time that the same type of task will be given to you, isang click na lang, or it's if it's a 10-step process, you can probably minimize it and make it 2 or 3, yan na lang. So less stress, no? Kumbaga one-time stress lang, ibig sabihin magagawa ka ng codes or maghahanap ka ng add-ons that will suit to your task, and then afterwards, troubleshooting na lang. So I've seen it with my coworkers. with my colleagues, hindi sila IT professionals, but when they discovered add-ons using like Autocrat, Mail Merge, and a lot more, they felt empowered. I saw the confidence. I see the confidence in them when they tell me, ay ma'am, nakaka-automate na ako ng certificates, automatic na nag-generate, and then the others are saying that I can at marunong na sila yung mga words na narinig mo nati-trigger na once nagbigay ng email triggered na siya, may magse-send na script. So that means it's a good way for beginners to dive in kasi step by step they're using Google workspace products or applications, and then they want to make their lives easier by automating some tasks. So, they study Appscript. Kung medyo mabigat ang coding pa, yung diretsong coding, then they try out muna yung add-ons para hindi masyadong mabigla, no? So, but after add-ons, you want more Kung kunyari, yung lahat yung add-on na napili mo, hindi pa ganun kung mga kulang na features, and maybe you'd like to tinker on them. So I saw a lot of testimonies online as well na yung iba magagaling sa Appscript na hindi tech ang background. So that's very inspiring, no? So for me, it's a digital divide, no? Nabe-bridge na yung digital divide, no? Yung Google Appscript. Okay. So next, please. Yeah. So let's watch, okay. Let's watch this 60-second video from women tech makers about explaining about a Google Appscript. Walang audio. Audio, please.
Do you make the same formatting changes in your spreadsheets over and over and over again? Do you spend more time adding filters than you do writing content? Do you wish the spreadsheet fairies would just magically clean up your tables? Give me 60 seconds and I'll show you how Google Appscript can get your sheets magical in no time. Google Appscript is a flexible JavaScript-based scripting language built into Google products like Docs, Slides, and Sheets. Nearly anything we can do in Sheets with a mouse and a keyboard, we can reproduce in code using Appscript. All we need is the script editor, which is hiding from us up in the Tools menu. We grab a reference to the active sheet using the Spreadsheet App parent class and target specific cells with getRange. We can use the A1 notation we're familiar with to capture just some of the cells. GetDataRange is a handy shortcut to capture all the data in the sheet. Now let's make the magic happen. We can easily change the color of the background and the text, and it's just one line to make it bold. We can center the text and add borders, and we can quickly set up a filter. And if we want to make it easy to repeat all this again, we can add a custom menu to the file. Just wrap our formatting code in a named function and configure the menu in an onload function. Next time we open the file, all we have to do is click the custom menu, and abracadabra, repeatable code. We've barely scratched the surface of all the cool things you can do with Appscript. Check out the API to see the available methods and step through a tutorial to help you get started. Don't forget to subscribe to the Women Tech Makers channel for more videos like this.
Yeah, so that's a very nice introduction to Google Appscript. You can try out more and check out some videos as well from the Google devs, no, and then women tech makers. So ngayon naman, what I'll share with you are 7 reasons why Google Appscript is a great first programming language to learn. I think this is also something yung iba na-intimidate kasi on diving in and learning programming. Like ako din, I'm more for the past few years, probably more than a decade actually, I've been managing a group, And then, although I really would want to more hone more of my programming skill, pero because of the management side of my work, na kulang yung oras. So, but Google Appscript paved a way for me to really practice also what I've learned in college and what I've been learning with Google Developers Group, para ma-enhance ko yung aking skills, no? So if you want to dive into programming, whether you have a programming background or not, try out Google Appscript. No? Yan. So 7 reasons why Google Appscript is a great first programming language to learn. So Ben Collins. Okay, so next slide, please. So yung first reason is you start from familiar territory. So you use Gmail, Google Sheet, Docs, or other G Suite apps, then you're already familiar with the look and feel of Google tools, no? So Appscript is no different and seamlessly extends the possibilities of what you can do with G Suite tools. So I found it super helpful when learning Appscript to start with scripts attached to Google Sheets, known as container-bound in Appscript parlance. So, dati medyo nakaka-intimidate pa siya, but there are a lot of improvements na nowadays, recently, that have made things easier for non-tech to understand more of how to use Google Appscript. Okay. So, if you're comfortable with formulas in Google Sheets, then you can definitely crack Appscript. It may take a little longer than learning a new formula, but stick with it and you'll soon get the hang of it. So yan, so if you feel confident na, okay, medyo okay yung skill natin sa Google Sheets on doing formulas, yan, nagko-query kayo, nag-VLOOKUP, yung mga ganyan. Ibig sabihin, pasok na, pwede na kayong mag-next step, mag-Appscript na. Okay, number 2, we have it's no configuration or setup required. So kung gusto niyo ng libreng platform, so Google Appscript is free. No setup required. Okay. So one of the best reasons to learn Google Appscript as your first programming language is that it's very, very easy to get started. There's no risk for you getting lost in the terminal, installing packages, or configuring programs. There are only 3 steps to get started. First, open nyo yung browser nyo. Number 2, create kayo ng new Appscript project. And then 3, start na kayo mag-code. So similarly, when you're ready to run your script, it's very simple. Just press the run button. Okay. So next. So we have, next please. Okay. So, pero kailangan nyo mag-authorize kailangan nyo i-authorize yung script the first time you run it. So, even if sa add-ons, pag magkiklik nyo siya, tatanungin niya kayo, are you authorizing this add-ons to run on your account? So, tatanungin niya yung email. Kiklik niya yung email nyo. So, every time you use an add-on or app script or a script, you need to let your account authorize the script to run. Okay. So, ibig sabihin, anong ibig sabihin na kailangan nung i-authorize? Kung authorized siya, yung script din sa account ko, pwede hindi siya authorized i-run sa account nyo. So that means meron siyang may security in running the program. Hindi siya yung run for everyone. Okay. So number 3 is build cool and useful tools immediately. This is my favorite reason why you should choose Google Appscript as your first programming language. Once you know a little bit of Appscript, you can immediately start to build useful tools. It's the main reason I was able to stick at it with and hit inevitable hurdles. So it's really motivating to see early wins when you're learning a new subject, especially when you're learning something that's technically and potentially challenging. Actually, nakaka-addict siya. Kasi gusto mo, sorry to say, pero parang gusto mo siyang tapusin kung nakikita mo, uy, may improvement na sa codes mo, or nakikita mo na nag-work na siya dahan-dahan. Yun nga lang din, no? There's also, you have to tell yourself you need to stop and do it by tomorrow kasi kahit napagpuyatan mo or inumagahin ka, gusto mo siyang matapos or gusto mo siyang magawa. Yan. So yun yung that's the setback that I can see lang. So you need to also control yourselves. So with Appscript, you have a chance to build something useful rather than random fizz-buzz algorithms. When you automate a tedious task or a colleague pats you on the back because your script saved her an hour or a week of work, it's really a good feeling. So yun yung sinasabi ko kanina. pag nakikita niya yung isang task na binigay sa inyo ng boss nyo or what you have at work, aabutin kayo ng, for example, bakit ang dami and then very routinary. So you always find the way. I always think na, pwede ba siyang i-automate? Parang ganyan. Ako kasi gano'n na yung mentality ko ngayon. Pwede siyang automate natin siya. So yun. So for example, you could easily write a script to automatically import a CSV file into a Google Sheet on a daily basis, saving you the time and pain of doing it manually. So another example, the one I use myself, is to automatically email a PDF copy of your business reporting sheet to the relevant people on a set of schedules. Yan. So mga ganon. So every morning, meron kang matatanggap na email galing din sa sarili mo to remind yourself or to give you the report that si Appscript na yung nag-prepare. Okay, next slide, please. Number 4, it's JavaScript under the hood. So JavaScript is one of the most popular and in-demand programming language in use today. So in fact, according to Stack Overflow, in 2018, it's the most popular programming language in use today. So if you're into JavaScript, so maning-mani na lang sa inyo yung Appscript. So this means there are tens of thousands of job openings for JavaScript developers, a huge vibrant community to be a part of, and lots of open source framework and tools to use. What you can do if you want, baka ang tanongin nyo, kailangan ko pa ba matuto ng JavaScript para matuto ng Appscript? Hindi. Pwede kang mag-dive agad sa Appscript and then later on, if you find it very interesting, pwede ka din mag-aral ng JavaScript. Just JavaScript on the side para if you want to explore more programming outside the Google platform, you can still do so using JavaScript. So Appscript is essentially JavaScript. It's based on a slightly earlier version of JavaScript. So in effect, it's like JavaScript without the newer syntax. So if you know Appscript, it would require relatively little effort to make the bridge to the latest and greatest JavaScript. Okay, next, please. So 4, it's JavaScript. Okay. So number 5, yeah. So good documentation and resources. Okay. So learning a new language is challenging. So documentation and a helpful support group can make a difference between sticking with it and mastering the language or giving up just when you're on the cusp or of breakthrough. The documentation and resources available today are excellent, much better than when we started learning Appscript in 2014. So ngayon, marami na siyang documentation. Dati nung nakita ko siya, na-intimidate ako. Actually, na-introduce na siya sa amin, I think, mga early stages of Appscript. And I said, gusto ko siyang matutunan, pero hanggang nag-hello world lang ako doon. So kasi I got intimidated. So, but when I was already using a lot of Google Sheets, and most especially, and Google Slides in automating certificates and all that. I got curious and then I said, can I customize? Kasi may mga add-ons na gusto kong i-customize. So nako-customize ko na siya kahit pa konti-konti ngayon because meron ako knowledge on how to tweak it. Okay. Next, please. So number 6, Google Appscript. Ayan, ang number 6 natin is you learn important concepts. Ayan. So Google Appscript runs on Google's servers, not in our browser. It's a server-side JavaScript. Just to make it clear, Google Appscript runs on Google servers, not in our browser. So it's a server-side JavaScript. Kaya minsan, pag mahina ang internet, tapos may Appscript tayo nag-run, minsan hindi siya nag-work. Kasi ibig sabihin, hindi nakakonect ng maigi with the Google server. So however, you can add HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code into your Appscript. So that's a good thing. Again, you can add HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code into your Appscript. Ma-recognize niya. And then run it in your browser. You'll learn how to get the server-side Appscript and talk to the client-side code with the benefits of keeping it all within one project and not needing a tons of configuration. You can add menus for your Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, or Forms so you can execute your Appscript's code without having to open up the editor window. So pwede mo na siyang ilagay. Gusto mo mag-add ng additional menu, pwede ka na mag-add ng additional menu. Yan. So, Yun. And then you can also custom sidebars which can be used for more complex script that might require the user to make choices like select data. You can add forms, buttons, CSS styling. If you're familiar with macros in um, in a spreadsheet, so it's parang an upgraded version or upgraded way of automating itong Appscript. No? Okay. So Appscript has triggers built so you can run your script on a particular schedule or when a specific event happens such as pag magsasubmit ng sa Google Forms tapos automatically gusto niya mag-release agad ng isang certificate, pwede ganon. Okay. Pwede niyo siyang gawin. So last but not the least is that, next slide please. Yan. Last but not the least is it's free. So, libre siya. Appscript is free to use and all you need to get started is a Google account. Kahit Gmail or meron ka bang workspace, Google Workspace for Education, pwede nyo gamitin si Appscript. So, it's you can start coding in Appscript in your browser for free right now. And you can use Sheets, you can start, and if you use Docs, you can also start with it. Even Google Forms, pwede siyang gamitin. So it's literally one more click to open up the script editor and start coding. Yan. So, okay. So in conclusion, next slide, please. In conclusion, Appscript is supremely useful in its own right. It's worth learning so you can automate tedious parts of your Google Workspace workflows or build useful tools for yourselves or colleagues at work. It's challenging enough that you'll never run out of ideas or avenues to explore, but friendly enough, you can make inroads pretty quickly. So, pwede po kayong mag-start dito sa developers.google.com/appscript. There are also videos out there available for you to check out. These are for beginners. Meron din for advanced users. So, marami na silang documentation. That's a good thing about Appscript. Grabe yung support and volunteerism ng mga gumagamit. They're also contributing a lot. And even in YouTube, if you want to get an approach different from the perspective of those who are employed in Google. No? Kasi Google Appscript is also very much used internally in Google. Yan. So, yan. Okay, basically, so that sums up my presentation. I hope you've learned something about my talk. Hindi lang ako makapag-demo because of time constraint, but hopefully we'll have another session in GDG Zamboanga with Appscript and do workshops siguro on our next webinar. And yan, so I hope you got interested, whether you have a programming background or not, or first year pa lang kayo, nagsa-start pa lang, high school pa lang, you might want to check out, or teacher that you want to automate some of your tasks, you might want to check out Appscript. And you can start with the add-ons. Yan. Pag na-appreciate mo yung add-ons, ma-appreciate mo na yung Appscript. Yan. Thank you very much. Again, for attending also with GDG Zamboanga's IO Extended. We're happy that you spent your Saturday afternoon with us. Maraming salamat. Yan.